Everybody, it's Wednesday, November 19th, 2025, and I wanted to address the Trans Awareness Week and the Trans Day of Remembrance. These are not easy topics, and I want to give a trigger warning for violence, suicide, just difficult emotional headspaces that drive somebody to that. First, I want to address the Trans Awareness Week, and this one's a little bit less bad, but it's still, I'm still going to talk about some difficult stuff. So, if you're in a bad headspace, maybe this is not the right video to watch right now. Anyway, getting into it. So, the Trans Awareness Week in the U.S. This is a week in November, and it culminates with the Trans Day of Remembrance. So, why? Why do we have these weeks and days specifically for trans people when we already have Pride in June? Well, because, gosh, because trans people exist on a different, area of the acronym, right? We're not a sexual orientation, we're an identity. We exist in a very different headspace than the sexual orientation parts of the LGBTQ acronym, right? And yes, there is trans pride. There's a pride flag. There's, oh my God, there's tons of, there's a trans mask, pride flag, and all that. Like, yes. And it's something that one tends to struggle with accepting about themselves, and one tends to go through, difficulty being accepted by friends and family and academic institutions and so many other areas, right? So yeah, trans pride is a thing, and it's a valid part of pride. But we also face discrimination from like every angle. So again, it's you get rejected by friends, family, mentors. I lost a really important mentor in my life, who accepted me before I came out as trans as a gender nonconforming bisexual woman. But then when I came out as trans, they didn't even give me the time of day to explain why they were cutting me out of their life. I mean, and I think about that often, you know. Um, so you go through rounds and rounds of rejection. You have to jump through hoops to get your medical care. You have to go through an enormous amount of work, which is not free, to get your documentation and your legal status changed, and that's being challenged and questioned right now. And people are getting their you know gender markers revoked in certain places on their passports and stuff, and that's making it impossible to travel, and it's making it difficult to get registered for various things. People are facing discrimination in the healthcare system because their gender got reversed or because they can't get it updated. And, on the gender marker thing, the legality thing, some states actually make it mandatory for you to have sex reassignment surgery in order to get your gender marker updated. In Illinois, when I went through my transition, I had to have had a sex reassignment surgery in order to get my birth certificate updated to male. That was in 2015, and my top surgery, which I had in 2015, actually counted as sex reassignment, and so I was able to go ahead and get that document updated, and therefore all of my other documentation, including my passport. So, in states where they make that mandatory, which Illinois does not anymore, by the way, side note, that is updated, you could look like me and look like a man, but your passport says female. And when you're trying to travel, especially with all the travel restrictions and security concerns, when your gender marker doesn't match your presentation, it causes issues. It causes all sorts of issues, And then, like I said, healthcare and all sorts of things. People are just really going through it. So, pride is valid. and it's a good thing to partake in, and it's good to be proud, but it's also something that we need to build awareness around. And you could easily swap out the word awareness with the word education. So this could be called Trans Education Week just as easily, right? We need to educate the common person on what it means to be transgender, including the fact that this is not a fantasy world. This is not a mental disorder, and this is not new. And that's another video that I want to really get into. And if you've got technical knowledge and you can help me do like slides and share slides while I'm talking in the background and edit these videos so they're not just one take, I'd love to hear from you, because I would love to share some slides and talk about the anthropology and the historical evidence of trans people and what happened and why that's no longer as commonly accepted. Spoiler alert, it's called colonization. But anyway, that's another video. That's another topic. So that's why we have Trans Awareness Week. We need to educate people. This is a biological reality, and it is, it affects and impacts a minority culture, a minority class of people. It is not the norm, but that does not make it a disorder. It does not mean I'm mentally unstable because I'm trans, or any trans person. I don't need to make it an I, me thing. Those are common misconceptions, though, is that this is like some mental disorder, or that it's a trend, and that's also not true, which, again, I'm going to address in another video. Lastly, I really don't want to make these, like, really long videos, right? Like, people's attention spans are a thing. But lastly, the awareness right now really needs to go to the legal atmosphere in the United States, and the fact that this is not a safe place for trans people, because there are so many laws being written, and passed, that just make it really hard for us to live and navigate, and I touched on some of that already, but like one thing that I've talked about in another video was the great bathroom debate. And right now laws are getting passed just left and right about what bathrooms trans people are allowed to use, and that's impacting people as we speak. It's happening, where people are actually trying to adhere to the law, right? Like, again, I'm assigned female at birth. In some states, the sex I was assigned mandates what bathroom I'm supposed to use. And so you have people trying to actually adhere to the law and go in the quote-unquote correct bathroom, and they're being arrested. So maybe we need to take a look and educate people as to the actual dangers of trans people in public bathrooms. It's zero, by the way, just so you know. The again, in the great bathroom debate video, I talked about that. Like, there is no actual evidence of a trans person assaulting somebody in a public bathroom, and there is no evidence of a cisgender male predator pretending to be trans or claiming to be trans in order to access those spaces and assault somebody. Like, it just isn't a thing. So we're passing laws that are protecting people from something that doesn't generally happen. So awareness and education could go towards that as well. So I want to cut this video off because I really want to talk about the Trans Day of Remembrance, and that is a heavy topic. So if you're going to go over and watch that video, which I'm about to record, make sure you're in a good headspace, because I'm going to talk about some numbers, and I'm going to talk about some reasons, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. So thanks for listening to this video or watching this video, and if you're an ally, or if you're in this this group of people, if you're trans or whatever, like, really, every time you educate somebody or every time you speak up, you are spreading awareness and you're doing the right thing, and don't stop. It's not easy, but we need it. So don't stop. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for listening.